there's a good chance a large percentage of people watching this, more than half, want to be famous. And the reason for that is because they want the resources that come along with fame, not fame itself. That's my core argument, but it's attached to something. I recently watched a video called Why People Want to Be Famous, something to that effect. I'll put that in the description. And what they were getting at was within entertainment, the people we look up to, the people that you look up to and most likely want to have the lifestyle of, they're trapped. They're trapped in this box you create when everything that you identify that's attached to your self-worth, everything that makes you feel like a complete person, is tied to the things you accomplish. Like if I have this successful video and a lot of people watch it, I feel worthwhile. I'm having a good day. Like I'm living in my purpose. But when that video has a terrible response, or people don't want to watch it at all, or people are throwing hate at me for making something, which has happened a lot of times in my relatively short video essay career, that is just the worst of the worst. You feel like you're not worth anything. You're having a bad day. Your emotions are deeply tied to the things you create. And that's a symptom of something that starts in childhood. I was a very sensitive, inquisitive kid. I read a shit ton of books. I was friendly to everybody. I was extremely naive. Like I got my bike stolen a lot because I was just leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, why would anybody take my bike? I was just really innocent and happy-go-lucky. I smiled a lot. Over time, life took some of that from me. I became incredibly skeptical. I got roasted a lot in school, and that turned me into a little bit more of a guarded person. And that's probably the biggest tragedy of my life, is that I got my innocence stolen like that. Obviously, some of that influence came from my upbringing. I have pretty stern parents on the whole. I'm not putting this at their feet, but I'm just saying that the world as a collective introduced elements to me that made me have this thirst to prove myself and to make sure that everything I do is noteworthy. I had a dad that was very wired towards accomplishments. He loves me and he's my biggest supporter to this day. The creative stuff, it took some warming up for him. But once it became successful, he got better. But also once he started to see I was serious about it. But when you're raised by a person who sees everything that you achieve as the thing to point to be like, oh, I brag about my kids because he had the top 1% SAT score in the country, or he went to Georgia Tech, or he's a famous YouTuber now. When these are the things that you put up front as the things that are worthwhile and worth discussing, as opposed to the depth of my character and the love I show to the people close to me, or the loyalty that I show to them, or my empathy, the character traits that less achievement oriented societies and figures would point to as like real accomplishment, that wires you a certain way, right? It wires me to be the person I became. Okay, bet. A's and B's are the only things that are allowed, and even B's in school. Okay, bet. I'm going to overachieve. Being on the basketball team and excelling in sports, that's what you value? Okay. I'm going to put so much pressure on myself to be a good basketball player that when I obviously don't make it on the college level or beyond, I feel like a failure. And then all the years where I wasn't successful as a musician, and then I was successful towards the end, and then I transitioned into video essays and was immediately successful. All these ups and downs of my career were all chasing relevancy and chasing that feeling that like, oh, you matter now, you made it. And that's just not true. Like, I mattered the whole time. Like, when I was a kid and I was getting roasted on the school bus, I mattered then. I mattered when I got bad grades in college and damn near flunked out of Georgia Tech. I mattered then. I've always mattered. And when I succeed on YouTube, when I put a video out that everybody loves, but people still hate me for because I'm criticizing people and criticizing systems, I mattered before I made those. Those don't give me purpose. They don't give me significance. I'm realizing that, I think, fully now that I've found myself on the other side of this incredibly nurturing relationship that I had that needed to end, but only my thoughts, to the point where I play Ghost of Tsushima all day to try to get those thoughts out of my mind, right? None of it is going to fill that void. You know what I'm saying? Only intrinsic self-worth can do that. Only building community and having a sense of self outside of the things you achieve and the people that vicariously live through you is going to achieve that. I'll make it clear that I can't generalize. I can't generalize you. I can't generalize people like me, YouTubers, entertainers. I can't generalize any of those people. And I'll also make another distinction. I'm not famous. I'm popular on the internet. Important distinction. I get recognized in real life sometimes. Like, the TSA agent at the Atlanta airport recognized me. A random person on the train in DC, somebody in the movie theater, a pitch black movie theater. When I'm just walking the Atlanta Beltline, somebody will be like, oh, I know him. You make videos, right? Love your work. Nice to meet you. That type of thing. So we're moving that out the way. I'm not famous. I'm not here to claim that I'm famous or that I can relate to superstars. I'd rather cry in a Mercedes. Y'all have probably heard something to that effect before, basically saying that, yeah, famous people complain about being famous, about being popular, about having a lot of followers on the internet. But you wouldn't trade places with us poors. And see, these are two different discussions. We're not talking about riches when we talk about fame and popularity. Those are two different things. You can be popular and famous and broke, and you can be popular and famous and rich. Just like you can be, on the flip side, completely anonymous and very rich, and completely anonymous and dirt poor. These things are not mutually exclusive. So the connection we draw between, oh, everybody famous needs to stop complaining, needs to stop talking about being popular and the downsides that comes along with that and how it doesn't fulfill you as a person, because we equate it to them complaining about being rich. That's not what anybody is doing. I have yet to hear anybody complain about being able to pay their bills, feed their family, not worry about the everyday stressors that come along with poverty, and even living check to check. It doesn't even have to be something as extreme as poverty. It can just be living check to check, like all of us are in our day jobs for the most part, especially in America. Celebrities don't complain about having money. They complain about everything else. And we're so high strung about, how dare you complain because you're doing so much quote unquote better in life than I am. But having money doesn't fix your problems. It solves your money problems, but it doesn't solve your existential life problems. And I think that's the first step towards us being able to see popular people as more than just this avatar on a screen. Cam James is a stage name. It's close to my real name, so at least I don't have this kind of fake name thing going on. But that was my musician name. My name is Cameron Williams. I'm a complex human being with insecurities and faults and flaws and misgivings and bold opinions. Some opinions I shouldn't express because they're not fully formed. And some I just never say ever because nobody ever needs to know it. Another thing this video helped me identify, because it told my life story, is the reasons most people watching this, including me, strive so hard to attain these things, whether it's in entertainment or any other field. We want to be famous because we think it'll fix that hole inside of us, that void, that lack of community. And that's something I have always suffered from. I'm not saying that applies to everybody, who becomes popular on the internet or becomes famous via movies or TV shows or whatever, or music, I would say there's one of these aspects that applies to us. Either the I'll show them complex, which is something I definitely have suffered from. I've noted that as my motivation to become popular for my entire life. All the doubt I received when I was a musician and still figuring it out and I wasn't very good yet, I was like, all right, I'll show y'all. I'll be successful. I'll be famous someday. Like, you'll see. That feeling, that general idea of I'll show them has powered me my entire life. And what is that at its core? Insecurity. That insecurity follows you, it haunts you, and it also drives you. It allows me to power through my hesitancy, my doubt, my imposter syndrome. It made me a perfectionist. It gave me a crazy work ethic because I know already being black, I have to be twice as good, if not more, to have half the audience of my white counterparts. So start there. I also know that I have to be great in order for people to give me my just due, in order for people to appreciate the things I make. I have to be great. I have to be different. I have to stand out. I have to do whatever I'm doing on a higher level. But that's a hole you cannot fill with popularity. I've spoken on this before, but I'm feeling it much more now. I'm fresh out of a relationship and it hurts, man. Like, it hurts. And there's a void that has created in my life that you could say I could fill with this popularity. I can fill with people in the comments thirsting over me, and you could say I could fill it with just the sheer amount of comments on a video. Thousands of people care about what I said. I made a video and 200,000 people watched it in less than 2 weeks, sometimes less than a week. You would think that would make me sit up straighter and walk with my head held high, like, yeah, I have worth. But no, like, at the end of the day, all of that is just data on a screen. It's just a number that I watch tick up. One of my brothers got me a YouTube subscriber counter. And on my journey to hit 100K, it was all consuming. It was the most important thing every day for me to just watch that number tick higher and higher and higher. My wonderful, amazing, supportive community, the first thing they were saying after I hit 100,000 was, next up, 1 million. And look, man, maybe I'll get there one day, but that's not the goal. That can't be the goal. If we always set the bar higher every time we achieve something, then what's the point? Why does any of it matter? That comes back to my point about us only existing based on every milestone, achieving something all the time. I'm more than my achievements. I'm more than how everybody perceives me. Cam James isn't even my real name, but people call me Mr. James in the comments because they don't know. Because they don't know me. Like, how could I possibly get fulfillment from hundreds of thousands of people who actually don't know me? They don't know what makes me tick. They don't know my insecurities unless I present them to them. And I'm not like faulting them for that. I'm just saying this to paint the picture that you don't want this. You don't want this eternal chase for relevancy and for every video to make you feel like, oh, I matter now because I finally got this big thing done and hundreds of thousands of people watch it. So now I'm complete. Now I can sleep well. Now I can go outside and be a person and spend time with my friends because now I'm somebody. That's incredibly unhealthy. It's incredibly toxic, and it's pushed on us by this capitalistic structure that we all exist within and that we're slaves to. I know you never thought we'd get there based on the title of this video, but slavery never ended. It just progressed into 9 to 5s and the general structure of those. It progressed into us thinking that we're free in the entertainment industry when really we just gave ourselves a job that actually takes more time as opposed to less time. There's no amount of any of this that will make you feel complete, that will make you feel satisfied. Take it from the people who have achieved way more than me. Jim Carrey famously said that he wishes everybody could get fame and fortune and everything they've ever wanted so that they could recognize that it's not the answer, that it's not gonna complete them. We've seen so many unbelievably famous people take themselves out, die prematurely, uh, allow the world to kill them. And if that's not the answer to whether fame is something that's healthy to pursue or popularity is something that's healthy to pursue, then I don't know what is. The time you spend in the studio in front of that computer interviewing people or drawing what you draw, painting what you paint, writing your scripts, editing it, getting it to the form where you're happy with it, that itself is the goal, the journey, the destination. It's all that, because everything that comes after is poisonous. And even though the positive comments feed my soul, they really do. So I'm not hating on any reactions to my video that try to support me. Please keep it coming. I need y'all. What I'm saying is, as creators, as people who are aspiring to be that thing that's famous or popular or whatever, getting recognized on the street will not fulfill you. People knowing your name in rooms that you weren't in before will never fulfill you. This false idea of I'm popular now, I'm famous now, that's not gonna make you feel less lonely, solve your heartbreak. It won't do any of those things. If anything, it'll isolate you even more. Ditch the celeb worship. Get rid of the idol worship. Stop putting them on pedestals, and that includes me. Find value in the things I say if it speaks to your life, but I'm not special. I'd actually like to start doing some real life events to get out there more, so it's less me and a screen and numbers. Then instead of that, it's people, right? That's what I want to get back to. If anybody in the Atlanta area would be interested in real meetups, real community building, that type of thing, I would love to start doing stuff like that. Let's just take this to real life. And if we grow this community to the point where I can do that in other cities too, I'd love to do so. And it's not like a tour, like well, you got to pay tickets for entertainment. I think that ruins it too. I'm gonna just pull up and hang out with y'all. And I don't want it to just be like a meet and greet either. I want to give other people the floor and just have community discussions where it's not just me with a mic and an audience. Like, that's not my goal either. I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to spread ideas that are beneficial to the world and to people as a whole. I have talked far too much. I think I've made my point. Y'all stay healthy. I'll catch y'all on the next one.